I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 1st, 2015. Thousands attended the funeral today of 25-year-old Israeli Malachi Moshe Rosenfeld, who was murdered in a terror attack in the West Bank on Monday night. Rosenfeld was shot at from a Palestinian vehicle while traveling in a car with 3 friends. The friends were moderately injured, but Rosenfeld suffered critical injuries and died yesterday. Following the attack and several other violent attacks over the last few weeks, the IDF deployed a new brigade in the West Bank to help bolster security in the area. Israel closed 2 of its border crossings into Egypt following deadly attacks this morning that killed an approximate 50 Egyptian soldiers in the northern Sinai. The Egyptian affiliate of the Islamic State, known as Sinai Province, claimed responsibility for the 3 simultaneous suicide attacks against the Egyptian forces. The IDF closed the Nitzana and Kerem Shalom border crossings in response and was keeping a close watch on the border area with Egypt and Gaza in the wake of the attacks. In a show of solidarity and support, National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Abe Foxman, and several ADL officials visited the church in northern Israel that was targeted by arson 2 weeks ago. Foxman, who is currently in Israel, visited the Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes in Tagba today to survey the damage. He also met with one of the church's leaders as well as with Israeli government officials, urging them to do their best to bring those responsible to justice. The attack on the church is believed to have been done by right-wing Jewish extremists, a so-called price tag attack that targets Christian as well as Palestinian sites and also targets the IDF in protest of Israeli government policies towards the settlements or in response to Palestinian terror. The United Church of Christ, or UCC, voted to divest from companies in Israel operating over the Green Line. The liberal Protestant group passed the action on Monday by a vote of 508 in favor, 124 against, and 38 abstentions. Israel's foreign ministry strongly criticized the vote, saying people of faith and religion should work to facilitate peace and not try to hurt the side, Israel, aspiring for peace. The Jewish Council for Public Affairs noted that the UCC has been part of several churches that place sole responsibility for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict on Israel alone. Rabbi Noah Marin's director of interreligious and intergroup relations for the American Jewish Committee said the church's actions only undermine peace prospects. He said the UCC's one-sided view of the Israeli-Palestinian peace process singles out Israel and shockingly ignores any Palestinian accountability. 2 more churches are set to vote today on similar resolutions, the Episcopal Church of Salt Lake City and the Mennonites in Kansas City, in just the latest efforts of the BDS, or Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement that seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. 94-year-old former Nazi guard Oskar Groening asked for forgiveness at his trial today. Groening, who served in Auschwitz, was known as its bookkeeper. He helped the death camp function, collecting and going through money and valuables stolen from Jews after they arrived there. In a statement read by his attorney, Groening told the state court in Lüneburg, Germany, that he felt a moral guilt for what he had done. He said, "I can only ask my God for forgiveness." Groening is charged with 300,000 counts of accessory to murder. He faces 3 to 15 years in prison if convicted. The government of Belgium announced this week that it will provide over $4 million to improve security at Jewish institutions across the country. The European Jewish press reported that the funds will go towards surveillance cameras, alarms, secure windows, and armored doors. Interior Minister Jan Jambon said once those improvements are in place, the government would then reassess the amount of soldiers it now has guarding Jewish institutions. That measure was taken after the deadly attack on the Jewish Museum in Brussels in May of last year. Daryl Messenger has been nominated to serve as the next chair of the Board of Trustees of the Union for Reform Judaism. She is the first woman to hold the top lay leadership role. A veteran of the URJ board, Messenger will take over the position from Stephen Sachs. Her nomination will be formally presented to the full board at the URJ's biennial this November. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Wednesday, July the 1st, more JBS coverage of the 2015 Jerusalem Post Conference in New York City. At 7 o'clock, a discussion on global anti-Semitism with U.S. Special Envoy on Anti-Semitism Ira Foreman, former Canadian Justice Minister Irwin Cotler, author and law professor Thane Rosenbaum, and Sarah Bloomfield of the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. At 7:30, remarks at the conference from former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and at 8, Jerusalem Post Deputy Managing Editor Caroline Glick. Then at 9 o'clock tonight, Mark Golub sits down with IDF Sergeant in Reserve Benjamin Anthony of Our Soldiers Speak on L'chaim, and at 10 o'clock, historian and film documentarian Simon Schama talks with novelist Jonathan Safran Foer about Shama's 5-part TV series, The Story of the Jews. And right after this newscast tonight, Israel's UN Ambassador Ron Prosor discusses the UN's unfair treatment of Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, July the 1st, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.